Hey guys, what's up? I am back with another video. So in this video, we will be doing the speed test comparison between the Oneplus 9RT 5G versus the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus. And the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus is powered by Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 SoC with 8GB of RAM. 9RT is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 SoC with a 12GB of RAM as well. On the back, we have a triple cameras on both these two devices, and both phones has a 50 megapixel f1.8 aperture with optical image separation main camera. Then we have a 12 megapixel ultra-wide and a 10 megapixel telephoto lens, which give you a 3x optical zoom with OIS, while on the another hand, OnePlus has a 16 megapixel ultra-wide with a 2 megapixel macro. No telephoto lens on the Oneplus 9RT, and the back on both phones is made up of glass. We have Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus versus Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the Oneplus 9RT. And the frames on both phones is made up of aluminium. We have a armor aluminium with Samsung S22 Plus. So on the bottom, no headphone jack on both these devices, as you can see, and both phones has a stereo speakers. Now let's quickly boot both of these phones up at the same time. Let's see which one is faster when it comes of booting up speed. So the logo came up first on the Samsung S22 Plus, and keep that in mind, S22 Plus is the flagship phone from last year, while the Oneplus 9RT is a high-end flagship from OnePlus, and the Oneplus 9RT is faster when it comes to booting up with the Samsung S22 Plus when it comes to booting up. And guys, now let's talk about the displays between these two devices. So OnePlus has a 6.6-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED with a 120Hz refresh rate, which also has a HDR10 Plus support, and this phone has a flat display, as you can see, while on the another hand, Samsung S22 Plus also has a 6.6-inch Full HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED with LTPO 120Hz refresh rate. Also we have a 1750 nits of max brightness with HDR10 Plus support as well, and both displays also has a always on display. We have a Corning Gorilla Glass 5 with the OnePlus versus a Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus with the Samsung S22 Plus. And the bottom chain, it is, you can see, miles smaller on the Samsung S22 Plus, as well as the forehead. Again, we have a center punch hole versus a punch hole on the left hand side. So guys, everything's closed up in the background, no application is running in the background. So now let's start off with the phone dialer. That is very similar. So next on the list is settings. That one also very similar. So now let's go to the display on both phones. Again, we have 120Hz refresh rate on both these devices, which is a LTPO on the S22 Plus versus a fixed 120Hz on the OnePlus. So now check out some more apps. Now let's start off with the Amazon shopping. That is little faster on the OnePlus. Again, you guys are the judge of the speed test. Let's see, scrolling is absolutely smooth on both phones, as you can see. Now let's open this. Also very similar, no lag whatsoever. So now check out some games applications. Now let's start off with the Candy Crush Saga. Exactly the same on both phones, as you can see, and that's really surprising. Instagram, that one faster on the S22 Plus. Let's see Pinout. Pinout also exactly the same on both phones, as you can see. Both devices is perform very similar. Snapchat similar. Spotify little faster on the S22 Plus. Subway Surfer, and Subway Surfer, it is faster on the OnePlus 9RT despite having a Snapdragon 888. So let me show the speakers on both phones. First on the S22 Plus. And here is the OnePlus 9RT. So the speakers, it is miles better on the Samsung S22 Plus. The speakers on the S22 Plus, it is more louder, has a lot more bass, opening up the Temper N2. Temper N2 is little faster on the Samsung S22 Plus. Yes, it is. So we have a 1 or 2 second difference this time. So now let's open this big game, which is called as PUBG Mobile. Again, I don't see a big difference between the Snapdragon 888 versus the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. Let's see if we have any difference. Still, no difference between these devices, and both phones will give you a smooth graphics with extreme frame rate, so no 90 fps on both these devices. So now let's opening up the Twitter. That one faster on the Oneplus 9RT. Now let's open Zedge, and that one it is very similar. Scrolling fees pretty smooth on both phones. So last I'm launching the cameras on both phones, default camera application. So let's see which one is faster. So that is very similar on both phones, and the camera performance it is better on the Samsung S22 Plus because we have a flagship level back cameras. Also we have a telephoto lens. So now let's look at the front facing camera. So Samsung has a 10 megapixel selfie camera while OnePlus has a 16 megapixel, and the selfie camera performance it is much better also on the Samsung. Okay guys, now let's check out internet browsing speed. So I am using the for Samsung internet browsers on the OnePlus versus a Chrome on the OnePlus 9RT. So now let's open wikipedia.org with same Wi-Fi network. So the OnePlus is taking the lead. Scrolling wise, pretty smooth performance on both phones. So now let's open this. Very similar performance, feels pretty smooth as you can see. Next on the list is apple.com, and that one it is also very similar. Again, you guys are the judge of the speed test. Scrolling feels pretty smooth as you can see, no jitters, anything like that. Same thing with zooming out. So now check out RAM management on both phones. So OnePlus has a 12 GB of RAM while Samsung only has a 8 GB of RAM. Now let's start off with the phone dialer, still there. Settings, Amazon shopping, Candy Crush Saga, still there. Instagram, Pinout, Snapchat, Spotify, Subway Surfer, Temper and 2, PUBG Mobile, still there. So opening up the Twitter, Zedge, and last we're back to the internet browser where we left as you can see. And guys, so what I have to say regarding the apps opening speed, as you can see that, and the Samsung S22 Plus and the OnePlus 9RT both phones is perform very similar despite having a different SoCs on both phones. Very disappointing to see that S22 Plus with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 it is not perform well against the OnePlus 9RT which has a Snapdragon 888. So in terms of the RAM device in that area, and both devices is perform excellent in the RAM management, not a single refresh on both these devices. Now let's talk about the battery sizes. So and both devices has a 4500 mAh battery size with a 65 watt fast charging, while with the Samsung we have 45 watt fast charging support but no charger in the box, and S22 Plus also support 15 watt wireless charging and a 4.5 watt reverse wireless charging. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like this comparison. So do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel for daily tech videos like this, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.